Okay, welcome back again. This is the second part of Lecture 17 from Unit 8, Week 8. In the first part of this lecture, we looked at some different types of addition reactions using different monomers other than ethylene. And here we're going to look at some condensation reactions, some polymer condensation reactions. So condensation polymers are made from a chemical or repetitive chemical reaction called a condensation reaction. We looked at condensation reactions a couple lectures ago. But just like in a single condensation reaction in which water splits out as a product, every time a monomer unit is added to another monomer unit in these condensation polymers, water is split out. Okay. There's synthetic and natural condensation polymers. We mentioned before, natural, for example, cellulose, starch, wool, silk, and proteins are all natural condensation polymers. Synthetic, nylon, Dacron, Kevlar. Kevlar is the synthetic material that's used in bulletproof vests, and then ABS. So there's, the polymer scientists have mimicked, if you will, nature in this sense to make, for example, nylon has very similar properties to silk. So by understanding some of the basic chemistry of natural products, polymer scientists have been able to produce synthetic products much cheaper by using the similar type of chemical reactions. Another synthetic polymer that condensation polymer that wasn't mentioned just now is the polymer Polyethylene Terephthalate. It's abbreviated, sometimes it's abbreviated PETE, and sometimes it's abbreviated PETs. It's the same thing. Polyethylene terephthalate is the name of the polymer, and it's made by a condensation reaction between terephthalic acid right here. It's a benzene ring with two carboxylic acid groups on it. That's what terephthalic acid is. And ethylene glycol. Ethylene glycol is a little molecule with two alcohol groups on it. Okay, sometimes it's the common or the systematic name is ethane diol. It's a little 2-carbon alkane with two alcohol groups or hydroxyl groups added on. And the way this condensation reaction works is, of course, it's the OH from the from the carboxylic acid functional group splits off and binds with the hydrogen from the hydroxyl alcohol group, and together it forms water, leaving this oxygen free to bind to that carbon. And so we form an ester. So PET or PETE plastic, polyethylene terephthalic acid, is actually a polyester. Okay, and so polyester. You've heard that word before, polyester. A lot of fabrics are polyesters. Alrighty, so you can see here the first linkage, the water has split off, and you've created this ester functional group. That's why it's a polyester. Okay. When you look at that, this one, after one linkage, you still have a carboxylic acid group on this end and a hydroxyl group on that end. So that's why these two monomers are such great monomers for building polyesters, because there's another ethylene glycol can add by condensation reaction to this end, and then you still have another alcohol ready for linking up to another carboxylic acid, and on this side the carboxylic acid is linking to the alcohol portion to form another ester. So there's one ester linkage, there's the next ester linkage, there's the next ester linkage, so it's a polyester. The molecule is built, the big polymer molecule is built by linking up the alcohol and carboxylic acid groups all along this molecule. So this is the first example of a copolymer. A copolymer is a type of a polymer that is made of two different monomer units. Okay, so we have two different monomer units adding together. So as you move down this polymer, you go from 2 carbons, ester, phenyl group, or you can call it a benzene benzene ring, either one is fine. Ester linkage, 2 carbons, ester linkage, phenyl group, etc., etc. So the use for this particular plastic, it's the #1 recycled plastic, is 2-liter, 3-liter soda bottles, water bottles, whatnot. Those are all PET or PETE, either one, same thing. Plastics, and they're such a stable, good plastic that the reason why they're recycled #1 is because they have so many uses after they've been used the first time. The most common next product for the recycled PET is fleece. Okay.